Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're stuck in silver in Valorant and you feel like no matter what you do, you're just not ranking up, then this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you some proven tips and strategies that will help you escape silver fast and climb to higher ranks like gold and beyond. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, focus on aim and crosshair placement. First things first, aim is everything in Valorant. If you're not hitting headshots consistently, it's going to be tough to rank up. But it's not just about having good aim. It's about where your crosshair is. Always keep your crosshair at head level and PRE aim corners before peeking. For example, if you're playing on bind and you're holding hookah, don't let your crosshair be pointed at the ground position at right where an enemy's head would appear if they peek. It might sound small, but these tiny adjustments give you an advantage in every gunfight. Outside of matches, use aim trainers like AimLab or Kavax for 10-15 minutes a day. You could also use Valorant's practice range start with some deathmatch rounds, where you're only going for headshots. When you train this way, you build the muscle memory needed to make those crisp flicks when it counts. Tip number 2, learn 1 or 2 agents really well. Instead of switching agents every match, pick 1 or 2 agents and get really comfortable with them. Let's say you pick Jett and Brimstone. With Jett, you can practice your aggressive entry fragging, using her dash to create space for your team. You want to know when to use her updraft to peek over obstacles or dash away when things get heated. On defense, try playing aggressive off angles with her mobility. On the other hand, if you choose Brimstone, you'll focus on map control. Learn the best smoke placements on each map to deny enemy sight lines and control choke points. For example, on Split, you can drop smokes on a heaven and a rafters to block key areas and help your team execute a sight push. Becoming a utility expert with agents like Brimstone or Omen also increases your team value. Tip 3, play with a game plan. In Silver, a lot of players tend to rush sites without much thought. If you're playing on Haven and attacking her, instead of just running through along every round, switch things up. Maybe start with a default setup, 2 players watching along, 2 holding mid, and 1 holding garage. This gives you map control and info, which helps you decide whether to execute a site or rotate based on what the enemy is doing. For defense, don't be afraid to switch up your positions either. If you always play B-side on bind, try playing from different angles like behind the box in hookah or playing aggressive and pushing out of garden for a surprise flank. If you're just holding the same angle every round, the enemy will catch on and adapt. Tip number 4, improve communication and game sense. Good communication is key. Even if you're not playing in a 5 stack, you can still make impactful callouts. For example, if you're playing mid on Ascent and you spot 3 enemies pushing catwalk, calling that out to your team gives them crucial information to adjust their positions or rotate. Be specific with your callouts, say 3 pushing catwalk instead of just mid. Another tip is to call out enemy utility usage. If you see the enemy Sage use her wall early in the round, you can tell your team Sage wall down, she doesn't have it for a push. This kind of communication helps your team make better decisions during rounds. And for game sense, think ahead. If the enemy Omen has his ULT, consider where he might teleport and PRE aim that spot. Anticipating plays based on previous rounds or sound cues will elevate your game. Tip number 5, mindset is key. Stay positive and consistent. Mindset is what will separate you from the other players in Silver. Imagine you lose a 13-11 game after leading 9-3 at half. It's super frustrating, right? But instead of tilting or blaming your teammates, focus on what you could have done better. Were you dying too early in the round? Did you waste your utility? When you focus on self-improvement, instead of focusing on what your team did wrong, you'll improve much faster. Also, try to keep your mental game strong during streaks, both winning and losing. If you're on a losing streak, take a short break to reset. You don't want to go into games tilted, because that's when bad habits start forming. On the flip side, if you're winning a lot, don't get overconfident. Keep playing with focus and a cool head to avoid mistakes. So there you have it, my top tips for getting out of silver fast in Valorant. Remember, it's not going to happen overnight, but if you apply these tips consistently, you'll see yourself climbing the ranks in no time. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot and motivates me to keep making more content for you. Good luck on your climb, and I'll see you in the next one.